One of the stars of Marvel's Eternals, aka Kumail Nanjiani, who ended up playing Kingo, recently talked about the toll that the film had on his mental health and his well-being, specifically the fact that he needed to see a therapist for counseling. So once again, this comes at us directly from the actor himself, who recently spoke with Michael Rosenbaum on his podcast, talking about the release of the film, the perception, the reception of the film, and everything like that. And he talked about the fact of how he was reading reviews and how it just sort of brought him down, if you will, into a very negative state. And how the film ending up with an 87 on Rotten Tomatoes and what people were saying, how he took a lot of it personally and how he ended up needing help. So he ended up checking into therapists because he just felt down, defeated, and then he was seeing all sorts of messages and vile things said about him, the film, the cast, the director, and so much more. And this isn't the first time something like this has happened. It's probably not the last time the actors have gone through this, and it just keeps on happening, and it is unfortunate. One of the best-known cases, at least for us here in nerd culture, is Jar Jar Binks himself. Ahmed, that was just awful what the older fan base did to him when the prequels came out. And it's a cycle that keeps on going. Now, you also see things like this with other things we don't talk about. Happens in music, and it happens in every industry, gaming and so forth. And it's just kind of, I get it, it's part of the business, but it's also easy for a lot of people to forget that these are human beings. And I know I've already seen people message us being like, see, aren't you responsible for this? You didn't like Eternals. You're right. I don't love Eternals. I am all right with Eternals. We don't score things here, but if I had to, 6.5 maybe, or something like that. But I'm not one of the people that went out there and then started slamming him personally. None of us were. We don't do that with the actors or anything like that, right? I wasn't out there wishing for his death because he was in a film that had LGBTQ plus support and things like that. Like some other people. There's a difference between being critical and saying, yeah, I don't like this, and here's why, to I hate this and I hope they all die. That's a massive difference. If you can't differentiate those, then you probably don't even understand what he's saying, and I'm just speaking into a void, so it's kind of pointless. But hopefully he's recovering good, and hopefully we see him back, because I legit like this character.